In discussing the longevity of rock and roll, I think it's very important to understand that rock and roll has changed in many ways, and many different styles are incorporated in it, as our textbook says. But I'm going to show a few examples of how the styles have changed, and I think that's why it sticks around, is because it's constantly evolving, it's constantly changing. There's always something new added to it. It's no longer just a guitar player, a bass player, a drummer, and a singer. Bands are constantly finding new ways to add a new sound or a new style or something just to keep the readers or the listeners' attention, I suppose I should say. So. I think everybody knows Elvis, so this here shows, where rock and roll was getting its start, and like I said, it's basic in the instruments that are being playing, but it was new for its time. It was something out of nowhere, a bunch of music's put together with blues, everything else, and it was just something for the audience at this time to listen to. So as it evolves from here, as I'm going to show you more examples as to why I feel that it's still around and still as popular today as it was in the 50s. So the Who came around in the 1960s, and as you can tell, there's definitely a sound change there between Elvis and them as rock and roll evolved. More synthesizers, stuff like that in there. It was a new sound, again, for a new generation. I'm sure there's plenty of Elvis fans that would have looked at this and said they didn't enjoy it, but I'm also sure that there were plenty of Elvis fans who did enjoy that the music was evolving and becoming something new for them. The change from then to today is going to be much more drastic, clearly, but it's also, if you're saying we went from the 1950s to the 1960s, and now to bring it up to rock and roll today, or what is considered rock and roll today, I should say, you're going to see that it's much different than what it was at this time. So let me show you an example of what we are considering rock and roll today. So that's one of the bands that they are considering rock and roll today. I actually do enjoy the Killers quite a bit, so please disregard my earlier comments. But as you can see, all of it together has evolved. I didn't put any examples in here where rap is really involved in it, but you'll see that in music a lot today. I think that rock and roll is kind of a broad term. I think a lot is categorized into that, and that might be one of the reasons that it's still around, is that you can kind of look at anything and say, well, that's rock and roll, or this is rock and roll. So I've gone over on time a little bit here, but I hope you enjoyed this, and look forward to discussing it with you again soon. Thank you.